Good morning, all, depending when you're watching this. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told I had a voice radio. So today, I'm going to be asking the question, do we actually like B-String? Or is B-String going to become a problem in the Pokemon trading card game? I've been playing a bunch of games recently with Forbidden Light focused decks. And one of the things that's jumped out to me straight away, B-String is a phenomenal card. So what B-String says is, if your opponent's got 3 or 4 prizes remaining, you can search for up to 2 basic energy cards and attach them to one of your Ultra Beasts. Now, your opponent might be playing something like a Buzzwole deck, and they may KO a GX and a non-GX, taking 3 prizes in one turn, going straight from 5 prizes down to 2. Or they might be able to do that with a Greninja deck, doing a whole bunch of damage, using Frogadier and Greninja, so that they never end up on 3 or 4 prizes. But the vast majority of the time, you are going to have a turn or 2 where your opponent has 3 or 4 prizes remaining, which means B-String comes in. And the first thing to point out, B-String is a phenomenal card. The testing I've done so far has shown me it is a great card. Now, it's actually a rare trainer card, which doesn't happen very often, but I do think it is good enough that, you know what, calling it a rare, yeah, it is that good, although it does mean the price is going to get a bit silly. Because here's the thing. We've got some really good Ultra Beasts. Now, I've already mentioned Buzzwole. Buzzwole for 1 energy does 30 to the active, 30 to 1 on the bench. That's fine. But when you get 3 energy on there, Knuckle Impact for 160, 190 with a Choice Band. Or Absorption GX, 40 damage for each prize card you've got remaining. Your opponent takes 2 prizes. You hit a B-String with a strong energy. And then all of a sudden, you're doing 180 with Knuckle Impact, 210 with a Choice Band, or potentially 260 with Absorption GX in a single turn because you've hit B-String and a strong energy. That's crazy good. Now, we've also got Ultra Necrozma. Now, Ultra Necrozma is seeing a bit of play with Malamar, but the thing is, I believe I uploaded a video the other day, assuming I'm uploading in the order I think I am, of some games I played with Ultra Necrozma Malamar. You can win without Malamar. And one of the reasons you can win without Malamar is you can use B-String. Ultra Necrozma, for 1 metal energy and some psychic, does 20 damage plus 80 for each basic psychic you discard, but you've got to discard them all. You get 2 basic psychic on there, discard them, you do 180, 210 with a Choice Band. Which means that you hit a B-String, metal energy, B-String, and then all of a sudden, you're just hitting 180, 210 with a Choice Band. That's pretty gosh darned high. And the thing is that if you've got 2 Ultra Necrozma on the bench and you hit 2 B-String in one turn, then you're in a situation where you just need to hit your metal energy at some point, and then you're hitting for a lot of damage. That's incredibly good. And then, of course, you've got Duskmane Necrozma. Now, Duskmane Necrozma, very good Pokemon. For 3 energy, 250 if you're behind on prizes, 4 energy, 220. And we generally play Duskmane Necrozma with something like Magnezone because you've got to get all the energy on the field. But I've played against some decks recently to play it with Garbodor to turn off abilities and then try and hit B-String. I played against one of these decks that hit 2 B-String in one turn, and that was pretty devastating. And it's not quite the same. But how about Dawn Wings Necrozma? Dawn Wings Necrozma for 3 energy does 120, which isn't that impressive. But for 3 energy on the GX attack, if you're behind on prizes, does 180, and you get immunity from your opponent's attacks the following turn. That's pretty phenomenal, and with a B-String, energy, B-String, you're off and rolling. And we're only really playing Dawn Wings Necrozma for the attack that jumps in the active. And yet we now have access to this great attack. And my problem with B-String isn't how good it is. It's how unreliable it is. Now, here's the thing. If B-String just allowed you to search your deck for 2 basic and attach them to your Ultra Beasts, it would be way too good. It would be completely overpowered. It would mean that Duskmane Necrozma, Ultra Necrozma, and Buzzwole would just rule the format. because they'd be able to one-hit KO pretty much anything. I would play 4 of them, as would most people. I would then play 4 Puzzle of Time to reuse them, as I'm assuming would most people. And then you would basically just try and hit 5 or 6 B-String during a game, which would get you an extra 10 or 12 energy accelerations during the game. And you would just be running around using big attacks on Ultra Necrozma, Dustmane Necrozma, Buzzwole, all game. And then, of course, you'd be able to tech in whatever you wanted, from a Xurkitree for automatic paralysis when you've got 3 prizes remaining, to a Pheromosa to do 180 when you've got 1 prize card remaining, etc., etc. It would be ridiculous, and a Beast Box style deck would be the best deck in the format. Okay. Fair enough. But that's not what we have. You can only use B-String when we've got 3 or 4 prizes remaining. And that means that B-String becomes incredibly luck-based. Because if I'm playing a Buzzwole mirror match, if I hit 2 B-String, but my opponent cannot draw a B-String while I've got 3 or 4 prizes remaining, then I go down to 2 and they still haven't hit a B-String, I am 99% sure I'm winning that game. If I'm hitting my B-String, but my opponent is not hitting their B-String, I am feeling very confident that I'm going to be winning this game. Similarly, if my opponent hits 3 B-String and I hit 0 B-String, because remember, you can only play when your opponent has 3 or 4 prize cards remaining, there is going to be a limited window in which you can actually get away with playing this. And if my opponent hits theirs and I don't hit mine, I am going to lose this game. Which kind of turns it into a bit of a coin flip. Now, of course, there are ways around this. There are things that we can do to help. Firstly, we can play draw power. Things like Oranguru, for instance. Things like Octillery, or maybe even Zoroark, though that might be going a bit too far, will help us here. Play in a more aggressive supporter line using more Professor Sycamore and less N and Cynthia will help us to draw this when we need to. If we play more draw-focused decks, more aggressive decks, we're going to hit them more often. Trainer's Mail also comes to mind. Now, Trainer's Mail really dropped out of circulation when Garbodor came around, because Garbodor punishes you for playing too many item cards. But Trainer's Mail here, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, find a trainer card there and put it into your hand. So if you can play Trainer's Mail and you can find yourself a B-String, then you're going to have an extra little advantage here. There are things that you can do to build your deck in such a way as to make it more likely you're going to draw into B-String. And my top 3 here are Octillery, Sycamore, Overdraw Supporters, and Trainer's Mail. That's what's going to really help. And then obviously in the expanded format, in expanded it gets really interesting because on the one hand, you can use computer search to get a B-String guaranteed, but you could also play Dowsing Machine to potentially get you a 5th B-String. Now the chances are you're not going to be hitting 4 B-String in a game even without Dowsing Machine, but it becomes a possibility. And that makes me kind of a little bit happy. If I'm the one playing it, not if I'm the one playing against it. And playing a game the other day, I started getting flashbacks to the Heart Gold Soul Silver On format, where it was all about Pokemon Reversal. You see, in Heart Gold Soul Silver On, there was no Lysander, there was no Guzma, and it was before we had the old version of Pokemon Catcher that didn't require a coin flip. Which means the only gusting effect we had was Pokemon Reversal. And Pokemon Reversal's too gosh darn good. Gusting effects are too good. So if Pokemon Reversal is the only thing you've got, then that's what you play, and everybody did. And so games would come down to whoever could hit a heads on Pokemon Reversal. But not only that, Heart Gold Soul Silver On was all about baby Pokemon as well. Actual baby Pokemon, no hey Nick here, sorry Nick. And they all had the sweet sleeping face ability that if they're asleep you prevent all damage done by attacks. So you want it to stay asleep going into your opponent's turn, but you need it to wake up coming into your turn else you can't attack. And pretty much that entire format came down to baby flips and Pokemon Reversal flips, and it wasn't a huge amount of fun. I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're quite at panic stations, but my early testing with Forbidden Light on has shown that Buzzwole, Ultra Necrozma, Dawnwings Necrozma, and Duskmane Necrozma are all incredibly good when paired with B-String. And it really is down to how often you hit your B-String as to how good they are. If you hit, say, 3 B-String in the allotted time period, you're probably going to win whatever game you're playing. If you hit none, you're possibly not. It's even worse in mirror matches because it's just going to come down to who can hit them. I'm not saying it's a huge problem yet, and I don't often make videos about things which I'm worried about in terms of the health of the metagame, but this is one thing that has stuck out to me in my Forbidden Light testing. And I don't necessarily make this video to say it is a problem. I make this video to ask a question, and I want to hear, legitimately, I really want to hear from you guys now in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. Tell me what you think about B-String. And of course, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and so on, you can do so over at patreon.com/PTCGRadio. And do check out my video game / Dragon Ball Super channel, Wassy Plays, for some more Wassy action. We just uploaded a video about the Switch's online service. I think you should check it out. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.